Hey Stiles, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video for camp. I'm going to go through and look at a couple key spots through your delivery. I'm going to look at how you're setting up. There's a few things that we can kind of do to help you get a little bit more consistent with your setup. Just like hitting. We got to have a nice stance. We got to set up in the right spot, or else we're not going to be able to get our body in the right position to deliver the ball. Mechanics is all about getting consistent. It's about repeatability of our delivery. So we got to make sure we're set up in a spot that's repeatable to get everything going. All right. So there's a couple key things that we'll kind of talk about to work on, and then after that, it's just a matter of using our lower half. We got to use our legs to throw. We're going to look at how our hips are taking us down the mound, and then the most important spot we're going to look at is at your foot strike. So where your front foot first hits the ground, what does everything look like? How are our arms in a nice healthy position? Our hips, working in relation to our shoulders? Our hips doing the work? Are our arms in good healthy angles? Are there anything showing up that might be a red flag for injury? And then just basically, are we getting down over our front foot through release? And so, overall for you, everything's pretty solid. You have a good understanding of mechanics. There's a few things that we can work on the way you set up, but you're finishing really well. You can get to a point where you're using more lower half, more legs, but that's something for you that will come as you get older. It's hard at your age because it's such a demanding delivery. Pitching it takes so much strength and coordination and balance. That's something that will come as you get a little bit older. All right. So first off, setup wise, if you look at where you break your hands, you can see you break your hands down here. All right. So being consistent and repeatability is all about limiting movement. It's all about simplifying everything as much as possible. So if you can get that habit of moving that glove from there down, closer to your belly button, somewhere around underneath your chest to your belt, that's going to eliminate that drop down. All right, that dropping down from up top, dropping down doesn't create any extra arm speed. It doesn't create any benefit. The only thing it causes is inconsistencies in the release point. All right, so that's just something that's just an easy fix. All right, another thing too is I'm going to mark where your head is right here at your leg lift. All right, so we're going to go back. We're going to go forward to that leg lift right here. All right, we're going to mark your head. All right, now we're going to sink it back a little bit. All right, so see how you're set up and your head travels backwards to this box? We want to come set already in that box. All right, so I messed up a little bit. I'll erase that box. But all we got to do now is we got to make sure that this foot's a little bit closer, a little bit closed off, and then we shift our weight over this back foot a little bit more. All right, so now we're going to be somewhere back here. Our weight's going to be loaded up on that inside part of that knee, and that hip's going to be ready to go. All right, and now we're back over this back leg. Because you get there anyways. You get to this spot anyways, so we want to make sure that we're already there initially to make it more efficient. So just get to that habit of starting in this position already, weight on that inside part of that knee, and then that'll make it a lot easier, more consistent for you to get the power down the mound. All right. Another thing too is, as you break your hands, you can see yourself kind of lose some posture, and you bend forward and get smaller. All right. We want to try to see your head stay at this height and have it follow the mound all the way down. We don't want to see it drop down and back and then forward. All right. All that's doing is you're just pausing your body, and you're kind of creating the sense of momentum, but you're not getting anything because your head's staying over this back leg. We want to make sure that you're getting to a point that your hips are leading, but we don't want to create sort of a fake feeling of hips leading by tilting our posture back. All right, right here you're still not getting any drive forward until right here. So here's your first drive forward, and now everything's open. Everything's open on that lower half instead of coming here. And then once these hips start going forward, that upper body's going to start following. So now the hips going forward, and now that upper body's staying good posture, straight posture, you're driving down the hill, and you're at this point, you're gaining ground instead of sinking back and staying over that foot here. We want to make sure that our head, that our back here never really crosses that back hip. We want it to stay on that back hip. We don't want it to start getting forward, but we don't want to overdo it back and lean. And so all that's doing is that you're just going to see this kind of lag out in front. So you're going to watch and it's kind of just sitting there, lagging, and now you're going to see this foot. If you were to draw a line from that back foot straight, you're going to see you're popping open with those hips. And now at foot strike, you can see right here is probably your foot strike. All right, your front foot's kind of pointed towards third, and we want to see it a little bit more towards home plate. Your arm's in a pretty good angle here. You're popping that front shoulder a little bit early, but that's pretty good. All right, but you're just seeing that you're just ahead of yourself. And so now the biggest thing, as you get older and get stronger, we're going to want to see this hip start to turn before your right shoulder. All right, and you can see that right now they're turning at the same time. So we want to try to get to a point here where your hip's starting to turn and your upper body still hasn't turned yet, and that's called torque. That's hip-shoulder separation. All right, so and that's something that right now physically isn't very easy for you to do. It's just something to be aware of as you get older. All right, you are doing great at keeping that glove out there. All right, you're bringing your body to your glove. You can see your glove kind of stay out there and not even move. So that's awesome. But the more we can get those legs working, the more we can stay closed a little bit longer. Through release, you're going to see yourself push the ball. All right, so you can see yourself here pushing the ball. You see daylight between your elbow and your head, and all that is you're just not using this lower half. So you're not driving that ball out over your front foot. You're releasing the ball. You can see, watch your front knee here. You can see this front knee start to stiffen before you release the ball. All right, we want to try to see that knee take a little bit more load here, and then it stiffens after you release. And all we're going to do is we're just going to stay through that backside a lot longer, and we're going to shift that head and get that chest down over that front foot. All right, and now what that's going to do is that's going to get your body in line with your arm, and so now you're going to be releasing the ball, somewhere out here. You're going to pick up, 6 or 8 inches of release, and that's going to get you to drive the ball more downhill instead of kind of pushing it out. You're going to be able to get up on top of that ball and drive a little bit better downhill. So you're just starting everything. You just need to get more momentum going down the hill. You're just kind of lagging back, and then you can just watch this arm lag back here, just kind of stay up, and then come through. Whereas we want to try to see your body get farther down the hill, so your arm's going to start moving. Maybe in this position, now your arms, now your hand might be starting to come up here, but it hasn't already got up to its height. Now it's starting to maybe rotate up here. Now it's starting to get up here maybe. All right, and then at foot strike is where it should be, back around here somewhere. So you're just starting your arm too early, getting it up too early, losing those hips a little bit, and then you just got to get farther on over that front foot. And again, at your age, it's something that's physically hard to do, but if you just kind of pay attention to it and work on it, when you start getting that strength, getting that ability, it's going to be a lot easier for you. All right, so overall, pretty solid for your age. Everything's looking good. It's just a matter of a few setup adjustments to make it easier for you, and then just trying to stay in those legs a little bit longer and finishing out over that front foot. So hopefully you had a great time at camp. Thanks for making it out, and we look forward to seeing you again with ABC.